Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on three different trailers: the Modelizer, the Right Mom, and a Hollow Tree. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Okay. So, again, I keep finding these trailers and like there's just so much stuff coming out. They're not great trailers though. So this one is a romance comedy about a woman who moves to Hong Kong, I guess, to become a model, and she gets involved with this dude who's like one of those guys. He's like the center of attention. Like all his friends know him. He's a big, gregarious guy, and he ends up at first he's talking to this girl about making her his like steady girl, but then he meets this girl, the protagonist, and now he's in love with her. Cheats on his girlfriend with her basically, but then there's something where one of the characters tells her, oh, if you're a model you got to have someone to sort of back you in Hong Kong. So he's, I don't know, he's like the son of rich parents, and so he has money, but he's an idiot, kind of. But he falls in love with her. I've never met anyone like you. Yeah, I never heard that line before. And so he falls in love with her. So, meanwhile, the girl is dealing with creeps, and the parents let him get beat up to teach him a lesson, and he eventually decides he's in love with her and literally chases her to the Hong Kong airport. There's literally the airport scene in this. So I guess it's a movie with every trope, every romance trope you've ever heard of, but it takes place in Hong Kong. So first act, he's a wild man, finds a new girlfriend, but he meets her, cheats on the old girlfriend, breaks up with her, ends up with the model girl. Second act, they fall in love, but she eventually finds out he's kind of a scumbag. He learns an important lesson thanks part to his parents. The third act, he has to win her back, and he does. I mean, I gotta say, it looks better than average, but that's not saying much. They're pretty not great for me, these kinds of movies. It might be okay, only because it's in Hong Kong, and that's a little different, but is it really going to be realistic to what's going on in Hong Kong now? It feels like that'll be smoothed over for certain factions in Hollywood, I'll say. So I don't know. It's a hotel movie. It's not my kind of movie, admittedly. Moving on. This one's very serious. It's called The Right Mom. It's a drama about children based on true events. This kid was apparently abused by someone. This girl is going to be the right mom. She's going to save him because, I don't know, she works for the hospital and she's a nurturing, nice person, and she's the protagonist, and they're telling her not to get too close, and then they're telling her not to give up, and his birth mother is some sort of monster, and she's the one who searches for the truth. The husband's not to blame, at least not directly, maybe because he just lets the wife do stuff, I don't know. So it looks very depressing. That's no fault of the movie. It's not another movie. It's not my kind of movie. For the kind of movie it is, I guess it looks okay. It looks a little low budget, but you don't really need a high budget for these things. But you know, it's all right, I guess, if you like these kinds of movies. I find them too depressing. It's not what I consider entertainment. To me, there's a difference between, say, watching a news program that covers something like this, which is meant to be informative, and then watching something that's supposed to be entertainment. It doesn't feel like entertainment to me. it feels like dirty. I'd feel dirty watching a movie like this and enjoying it. I'd just be like, oh, this is awful. Um, you know, is there drama in this? Sure. I mean, first act, the kid comes into the hospital, I guess, where she works. You find all these injuries. They save him. He's in rough shape. She's assigned to, I don't know, investigate, and then later in the movie they assign her to write his story to try to help people like Billy, and she feels that's exploitive, but she won't give up on him. Second act, it's about her not giving up on him, and hopefully he comes out of his coma. But then as he comes out of the coma, I guess the mother comes back, and she's clearly hiding something, and the husband's in the mix, and then the question is, did she do it, did she not? But then it seems like the mother's to blame, so then it's about saving him from the mother, and she makes promises that she may not be able to keep legally. But it's a movie, so in the end, I assume she uses legal machinations to take the child away from his mother, which I'm not so comfortable with unless it's in extreme circumstances. Now, it appears to be a very extreme circumstance, but you know, it's a little uncomfortable. Maybe that's what it's meant to be. Not my kind of entertainment, though. And finally, A Hollow Tree, which is a Skinwalker movie. Audience award winning, according to this. This looks like a freaky horror movie. Now, the trailer's not very good. It starts out with the main character walking through the woods and sort of testing the sun on himself. So I guess he's now the Skinwalker because the sun burns him. So he then continues walking, and then there's a separate scene where he sets up with a gun to shoot a guy, and he's way out in the field. And at first he's lining him up to shoot him. He's naked. Now, I guess he's the Skinwalker. He's the monster for some reason, but they don't say. And then there's like this tense scene, and then the freaky part happens. I'll just show you a little bit of it. Oh, wait. See that? It's freaky, right? The way he's moving. That is freaky. So it looks like a cool horror movie. But the trailer's not so good. So then after that freaky scene, he's running through the woods, running away, eventually gets away, jumps a fence, and then, I don't know, it cuts to the scene of him showing a kid how to shoot. It looks like a completely different scene. I don't know, maybe the Skinwalker killed his son, and that's why he's after it. It's a weird scene to cut into this. It just confused me more than anything. Then it felt a little bit like a post-apocalyptic movie because they appear to be in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing around. I don't know if that's part of the movie, but... And then they're just having a quiet conversation about harvesting vegetables and whether or not he likes a girl. It just seems weird to go down this route. Like, why wouldn't you show that first? Like, to me, you'd show this scene first and end with the Skinwalker coming at the guy, and then, like, I don't know, Skinwalker coming soon, something like that. It's a weird trailer. Let's see if there's any more info here. Oh, years after a nuclear holocaust. Okay, so it is after a post-apocalyptic. Years after a nuclear holocaust, resulting in the death of millions, the few survivors struggle to find the necessities to stay alive. Traveling north in hopes of less contaminated soil and water, they become prey of something hiding in the woods, something worse than other humans. Wow, that does sound pretty ambitious. Director is Cathal Fitzpatrick. IMDb gives it an 8.5. They're usually pretty harsh on movies, I'll say. Yeah, that looked... Okay, let's see if I can break this down. First act, I'm going to guess he's traveling with his son, or maybe it's a kid he adopted because of the post-Holocaust kind of environment it's in. It's a dystopia or whatever. So they get stalked, and maybe he's killed, and now he has to fight the Skinwalker. And maybe that's a result of the radiation, or maybe not, or maybe the him testing his hand on the sunlight is him testing his hand for radiation. I don't know. But now he's in a mano a mano battle to kill this monster that killed his son. That would be my guess. So first act, they're walking along, talking, surviving, heading north, whatever. Then his son is killed by this thing. He somehow survives. Second act, now he's trying to track it down. He tracks it. Seems to be one of these movies that doesn't have a lot of dialogue. He tracks it, tries to kill it, or can't find it at first, and it's like too powerful. He has to keep running away. Third act, maybe he figures out a way to hurt it, and he hurts it, but it doesn't kill it, and then he's trapped somewhere. And then maybe he manages to fight it and kill it, but now he's, I don't know, contaminated. He'll be the next Skinwalker, and then he has to either kill himself or he turns into the next Skinwalker, something like that. I don't know. Skinwalker is kind of a Native American story. The Wendigo, I forget what they're called, Skinwalkers. I think because they rip out of their own skin and turn into like werewolf type creatures, and then they run around, I don't know, doing horrible things and eating people, and then they transform back. But I can't remember. Maybe they take the place of humans. I don't remember the exact story, but this is the most intriguing to me because I like horror movies, and that scene is freaky with that naked dude running towards him. He's eyeing him up, and he doesn't shoot him, and then suddenly the guy's turned around coming at him. Oh, that freaked me out. It's just so. I'm all about the freaky A Hollow Tree. I like the name too, A Hollow Tree, but I don't like this. This trailer confuses me. I think you need a better trailer. A little more about the nuclear holocaust you're dealing with here. You don't need the effects to show it. It takes place years after, but you might have a few lines or voiceover or something. All right, so those are the three movies. So, A Hollow Tree, The Right Mom, and The Modelizer. So A Hollow Tree would definitely be on top of the list. I find it kind of intriguing, even though I don't like the trailer. I think they could have cut a better trailer. Number 2, I guess I'd have to put The Modelizer up, only because I don't like depressing movies, and man, The Right Mom just seems so sad and depressing. I wouldn't want to sit through that. I'd sit through The Modelizer first before I had to sit through such a sad, depressing movie like The Right Mom. It just looks too sad. I don't want to watch a movie like that. It's just too much. Unless something good happens I guess something good happens at the end. But not that I'm like a huge fan of something like The Modelizer. That's not my kind of movie either. Which one would I recommend? Yeah, definitely The Hollow Tree. A Hollow Tree. It sounds intriguing to me. The other two movies, maybe the Hong Kong movie could be okay, watchable at least. The Right Mom, I don't know. It just seems dreary. Seems to accomplish what they worry about in the movie. Like they worry about in the movie that she may be exploiting the story. To me, that's kind of exactly what they're doing with the movie. And then this one, it might be a tolerable watch. If your girlfriend made you watch this, you might endure it. But who knows? You might have nightmares about the Hollow Tree. I think I might have a nightmare after seeing that freaky scene. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan somewhere in the house. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be at the Fort Mont Book Club tomorrow at 6:45. That's at the picnic area. So if you want to come down near Penns Grove, Fort Mott, M-O-T-T, Google it. Then on Thursday, I'll be at the Vinyl Brewing place in Hamilton, New Jersey, from 5 to 9. So I hope to see you there. That's it for me and Little Joan. We'll see you tomorrow.